What is up, YouTube? It's your girl Evelyn, and welcome to the second most ridiculous video I've ever made on this channel so far.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my...
Confident, independent, and dangerously competitive, there is no sign that wins more than an Aries, which is why my first Aries recommendation is the most winningest winner of all winning, Miss Ann Lister, aka Gentleman Jack, who, unsurprisingly, is hailed as the world's first modern lesbian. My second Aries pick is Harley Quinn, because Aries tend to have really good hearts, but sometimes their impulsivity can get in the way of their good intentions. My last Aries recommendation is Warrior Nun, because an Aries would rather die than let down their team. Not to mention, they're probably the ones leading the team in the first place.
I'm so fancy. You already
Of all the signs of the Zodiac, Taurus is one of the most loyal, which is why Orange is the New Black is my first Tauran pick. Because who other than a Taurus could remain loyal to the person who got them thrown into prison in the first place?
They're toxic.
My second Taurus recommendation is Yellow Jackets, the genre-bending series about a group of plane crash survivors that ask more questions than it gives answers, which is actually perfect for the patient Taurus, who will wait as long as it takes for a good payoff. My last Taurus pick is Feel Good, because above all, Tauruses are sensual lovers of indulgence, which can sometimes get them into trouble if they indulge too much, like May in Feel Good.
she gonna do what she want because she never needed any reason.
Is Gemini the smartest sign of the Zodiac? I don't know, probably because I'm not a Gemini. But my first Geminian pick is a show about two very smart women, who also might be sociopaths. Dead Ringers is a nasty little show about two uncomfortably close twin sisters who are also surgeons on the cutting edge of women's healthcare. And this is a show that will definitely give that famous Gemini brain a workout. Also, don't eat while watching it. My second Gemini recommendation is Vigil, a gripping and fast-paced thriller in which Gentleman Jack investigates a mysterious murder on board a nuclear submarine. And the show's twisted mystery should be enough to keep Geminis on the edge of their seats. My last Gemini pick is Swarm, the controversial tale of an obsessed fan who goes too far. And I think the subversive nature of both the show and its main character might appeal to the open-minded and curious Gemini.
Everybody hurts.
The sweet and surprisingly spicy Cancer is a sucker for a good old-fashioned love story, and the angstier, the better, which is why my first Cancer recommendation is Bad Girls, the 90s British drama about the staff and inmates of a women's prison. And in my opinion, the slow burn romance between wing governor Helen Stewart and inmate Nikki Wade is easily the most underrated lesbian romance of all time.
It's only the best show that's ever been on television. Ever!
My second Cancer recommendation is High School, Tegan and Sarah's semi-autobiographical show about growing up queer in the 90s. Because if there's one thing Cancers love, it's nostalgia. My last Cancerian pick is Dickinson, the quirky Apple TV series that gave us a remixed and incredibly entertaining version of the life of Emily Dickinson. And I don't think there's a sign that can relate more to the emotional, intuitive, and sensitive poet quite like a Cancer.
Looking at me. Look at that. Look at how they look at
Now, before we begin, I must apologize to my Leos for my last Zodiac video because I was summarily dragged in the comment section of that video by a murder of Leos.
Sorry, everybody. Sorry. My bad.
My first Leo pick is 20s, a show loosely based on Lena Waithe's early years working in Hollywood. And although it follows a group of friends, the main character is Hattie, a charismatic writer with ambitious dreams, someone I think Leos might relate to, because Leos tend to attract interest from everyone simply by existing. My second Leo recommendation is Motherland Fort Salem, because if there's any sign that would create a complete matriarchal society, it would be a Leo. My last Leo pick is the original L Word, because even though the show was far from perfect, no one can deny the L Word was a pioneer in the landscape of gay lady media. There was nothing like it before, and there really hasn't been anything like it since, including its own reboot. It is a show that has filled our community with a sense of pride for years, which is why I think it's perfect for Leo, because there's no sign more proud.
Please don't hurt me.
Don't need permission. Made my decision to test my limit.
If there's one thing Virgos are better at than anyone else, it's controlling a narrative, which is why my first Virgo recommendation is Gypsy, a show about Naomi Watts being really hot.
Nothing else, eh?
No, nothing else.
Harlem is my second Virgo pick because a Virgo is only as fabulous as their crew, and Harlem is about a fabulous friend group fit for a Virgo. My last Virgo recommendation is Euphoria, HBO's sex-filled teen drama awash in violence and overflowing with drugs. To say Euphoria is controversial is a bit of an understatement, but Virgos really do excel at taking an unbiased view of things, and I think they would be able to see past the excesses of the show and enjoy it for what it is.
I just want you here by my side. I don't want
If there's one thing you should never do in front of a Libra, it's f someone over, because there is nothing Libras hate more than injustice, which is why my first Libranian pick is the Caped Crusader herself, Batwoman, because I honestly feel like all superheroes are probably Libras. My second Libra recommendation is Ratchet, a show with a main character some might even call an anti-hero.
Not me, but some people.
Like, she's for sure not a regular hero, but Mildred Ratchet truly believes her cause is noble. Therefore, her actions are justified, more or less. Winona Earp is my last Libra recommendation because the character just feels like a Libra. She's beautiful, charming, and clever, and people just fall for her.
Said you take a bullet, told me you would die for me.
The determination of a Scorpio is truly awe-inspiring, which is why my first Scorpio pick is Killing Eve, a show about two very, very, very determined women. My next Scorpionian recommendation is Carmela the series, because I'll be honest, all vampires kind of feel like Scorpios to me. They're sexy and mysterious, and they also seem to have been blessed, or cursed, with a passion so powerful it can overwhelm even them. My last Scorpio pick is Wentworth, a show about how one woman's quest for vengeance ultimately leads to her destruction. Now, I'm not saying Scorpios speak vengeance like it's their native language.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
But if one day you ever end up on the wrong side of a Scorpio,
Run.
I'm on top of the world. Hey, I'm on top of the world.
if Sagittarius has had a life motto, it might be something like move fast, break things, then move even faster, which is why my first Sagittarius pick is The Boys, a show about a group of super f***ed up superheroes doing super f***ed up things. And even though Sagittariuses tend to be very honest, unlike most of the boys, sometimes their many ambitions can collide and create chaos in their lives. My next Sagittarius pick is A League of Their Own, a show about bold and courageous women going on the adventure of a lifetime. And there's nothing more Sagittarian than that. Hacks is my last Sagittarius recommendation, and it's a show about a washed-up comedian and the young comedy writer she's forced to work with. And this is just a super fun show with a fair amount of travel. Two things Sagittariuses love.
I need a real boss, somebody home care with a bill cost, smooth skin.
If you need something done, and done right, there is really only one sign you should ever call, and that's a Capricorn.
I like getting shit done.
Which is why my first Capricornian pick is The Last of Us, a show about a post-apocalyptic pandemic that turns people into the nastiest looking zombies you've ever seen. But it's also a show about perseverance in the face of unimaginable odds. And if there were ever a show made for a Capricorn, it would be this one. My second Capricorn pick is Arcane, a show about what happens when a utopian society is created on the backs of the oppressed. And I think this show might appeal to Capricorns because this is a sign that does not grovel to anyone. Not to mention, they will do whatever they have to do to secure victory. The L Word Generation Q is my last Capricorn recommendation because if you're gonna watch the L Word Generation Q, you are going to need a lot of patience. And Capricorns, they have lots of patience.
I just wanna get high on my lover.
The unconventional Aquarius loves all things that are, well, unconventional, which is why my first Aquarian recommendation is We Are Lady Parts, a super British show about a Muslim female punk rock band. It's quirky, it's cool, it's creative, and it's perfect for an Aquarius. My second Aquarius pick is The Baby, a criminally underrated show about a 38-year-old who is thrust into motherhood against her will by a homicidal immortal baby. And it is just as weird as it sounds, which is perfect perfect for an Aquarius. Work in Progress is my last Aquarius recommendation, and it's yet another show that speaks to the unconventional and super creative nature of the Aquarius.
Talking to the moon.
There is something almost otherworldly about the intuition of a Pisces, which is why my first Piscean pick is The Haunting of Bly Manor, a moody ghost story about a tragic love affair that will leave you absolutely devastated. My second Pisces pick is First Kill, because is there anything more romantic than a lesbian vampire version of Romeo and Juliet? Of course not, which makes it absolutely perfect for the highly romantic Pisces, a sign that is truly in love with love itself. The Wilds is my last Pisces recommendation because if Leah's not a Pisces, she should be. That is it for the video. I want to give a quick shout out to my newest patrons, Victoria, Yasmin, and Julia.
Everything I do it for you.
As always, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to drop your astrological sign along with your favorite lesbian show in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.